Well, hello and Happy New Year and welcome back to the Minneapolis Northwestern N-Scale Model Railroad. This is a new project I'm working on here to start the year. This is actually something I'm trying to develop for the local chapter of the NMRA, the Twin Cities Division or Thousand Lakes region. Area. So this is going to be my offering to the modelers meet coming up in May. This is based on an article that was featured in the May 1988 Model Railroader magazine, the Consolidated Concrete Plant. So and I've renamed it, kind of put a little twist on it to Allied Cement, so I hope I spelled it right. So this article I copied out of the Model Railroader magazine, and I'm trying to kind of follow along with the plans in here. And I've managed to enlarge to scale some plans for this complex, and you can see them here. So I pretty much worked off these. I enlarged these right out of the magazine to approximate N scale. It's within a few feet here and there, but it's close enough. And got a few other little drawings here with the side views and so forth. This one here, the side view of the complex. So based on these drawings, I was able to make all of these components here. And we start with a big garage over here on the far left here, and a big mixer house or mixer building with some surrounding support buildings. There's an office on the other side there. Can't quite see it from the side. I'll turn that around for you in a bit. There's 4 big silos, transfer house, some conveyors, another little house down here, it's conveyor belts, and then there's another little building here at the end, a little shed. I forget what they called it here. What is it? A service building. Okay. So all of these were made with my 3D software, drafting software. And we used the 3D printer pretty much to make all the components. Some of these things are add-ons, like the little pipes and these little details around the side of the silo. So those are little add-ons there. Also, I've made little details. You can see on the side of this building here. Whoop, let me get the thing to focus. There are little electrical boxes there, just basic little styrene blocks to replicate little electrical panels. Here, this little guy. These rooftop details, those are all handmade. There's one of the little electrical boxes. It's just a little block of styrene stripped, cut down to a small size, and a little piece of wire for the conduit. So real simple. The little ladder I made on the 3D printer, that was easier than trying to do them piece by piece. Take a closer look at some of the little components here. This silo, this one was 3D print. That's on a model. I've got some tape around here because I'm getting ready to paint that green stripe around the silo here. But these little pieces are just add-ons. The silo itself was a 3D print right off my 3D printer, so I just printed a couple of those. 2 different sizes. Silos here, everything's kind of pieced together. And trying to work on some contours right now. That pink foam in the back, that's going to be a road going along the back of the board there. And also just adding some other pieces here to kind of try to get a little variation here and not have such a dead flat surface for the module. And this is going to be, I'm going to try to build this to, sorry about my light here, it's very early in the morning here and all I got is my little workshop light. But this is going to be made to N-track specifications and try to make this a little N-track module. So I got to do a little homework on that and figure out just exactly what the specifications are for that. Also the little trucks here, this one, not quite finished with this one yet, but this is a Showcase Miniatures model. A little dump truck. The rest of these are kind of nice. These little cement trucks. These I got ordered off the web, and they're about $6 a piece. They're resin printed 3D printed little models. Took a while to free the model from the excess printing material, and then I painted them to try to dress them up there a little bit. So I'll give some details on where those cement trucks were ordered from. Also, I'm going to have a few. This one isn't painted at all yet, so a little coat of yellow on there, but just some other little ground equipment moving around the plant. And I'll get into showing you what the some of the drawings look like on the computer here in just a bit. But for now, this is as far as I've gotten on this. Here, I'll turn this around. I'm going to disconnect the belt here, or the conveyor. I've got a couple of little surrounding buildings here, so I can turn this around. And this is the office on the side here. And I don't know if you can see inside there. I do have some minimal lighting. Maybe I'll have to turn on the lights here for you. But that's an office poking out on the side of the big picture building. I used a little sandpaper on the top, little fine grade sandpaper on the top, and then added some little water blotches to make it look like a kind of a water stained roof on the top. Some of the little details are just added on. These are just little tubes and rods that I put on the side there for all the pipes on the side of the building. The little ladder cage was handmade. If you saw my video on the silos I did last year, used the same technique for making the little ladder cage on the side of the building here. I have installed just some kind of real rudimentary basic lighting on some of the buildings. Basically, there's just a light above each door there. And here's the little bit of lighting on the mixer building here. You can see a little bit of detail inside that office, a couple of figures and just some rough little tables and desks and things in there. And just one little light at the top there. Have a look at the lighting inside the office there. I don't know if you can see inside to see the detail, but just a little minimal lighting here on the project. And a few lights around the garage there, basically just one light above each door. So I'll give a little bit of illumination on the project. Here again, another example of the little details I'm putting on the side of the building. You can see these very clearly. They're just little pieces of styrene that I cut, and some little round pieces I put on there to try to make some interesting looking panels, and some bits of wire for the conduits reading out of the bottom of the boxes. And more little boxes on the side of the garage here. I'm going to get this thing to focus here. You can see they're just little rectangle, little pieces of styrene strip, little piece of plastic rod that I just cut to stick on the side of the building just to give it some interesting little details. This little thing here, I made pretty much the box and the little bottom part there. That's all one piece printed on the 3D printer. So you can get a little better look at it. And the other little pieces are just little styrene strips and little pieces of channel and so forth that I did to kind of frame up the bottom. The little ladder was a 3D print, and I kind of bent the top there to make the little hoops over the top. And this little guy fits kind of right up against the mixture building. I don't know what the heck it is, but it's part of the plan. It fits in there. And I've got this funky little piece of pipe that'll go between the mixture building and into the little fixture here on the side. So I'll pretty much get a little better look on some of these little things here. Try to get some better light on them. Just trying to add little details and things to make it more interesting. I've had to do some guesswork on the plans here. Take a look at this piece that I've got all put together. I'm not sure what's happening on the other side of this. I see this, what appears to be kind of a big box and another kind of oddly shaped box on the other end here, and it's hard to tell what's going on there. Plus there's what appears to be a door up here at the top of the conveyor, and I'm wondering what the heck is there. Is that really a door up there? I don't really know, so I'm not sure what's going on. Also on the other side of this here again, it looks like here there's just kind of a box structure out the back end here, and I'm thinking it probably needs to have some connection with the other silo right next to it here, but I don't see a connection on the plan. It appears to be just some round ducts or something underneath there. I don't have those on here yet, but a little bit of guesswork because there aren't any pictures showing this side of this structure, so I'm kind of trying to guess, oh, what the heck is going on here. So I made these parts on the 3D printer and kind of glued everything together, but I'm still a little puzzled what's happening here with the other side of this structure, so I don't really know quite what to do there. So a little guesswork going on. So, but it looks like there should be some kind of connection from here maybe to this other silo, because this one doesn't seem to have any connection to the equipment around it. So it's a bit of a puzzle. And the plans also show some structures here, supports for the conveyors here. You see there's a bunch of little supports in here I'm going to have to build. This isn't very well represented here in the drawing, but there are other little supports that come up underneath the transfer house, and some other supports along the way for the belts. And so I've made a few of them. This one is kind of a double structure with a little ladder going up between them, and that's going to fit right about in here. I've made it a little too long, but that's good. I can cut it down to size and it'll fit in there. Another one will fit about here, and another one down here somewhere, about there. So you can roughly see what those are doing there. But there's a lot more detail to add to this to finish it off. And I'm going to try to, like I say over here, I'm changing the elevation a little bit, trying to raise this up a little bit here and there, just to give the ground a little deviation and not be so flat. So I have to do a little experimenting there to see what I can do with that. And you can see here, if I can show you real quick, there's a kind of an overall view of the complex here. There we go. That's an overall view of the complex here, and you can see there's lots of stuff that need to be added in here. And if you look at the model in here, the way the prototype model that was in the article there, you can see there's lots of little detail in here, lots of supports and rods and trusses and all kinds of stuff in here I've got to add yet. So a lot of detail, phone poles, wires, all kinds of stuff, lights. So it's a neat project, and it helped a lot with the 3D printer to create a lot of these things. I'll get into the computer drawings here in just a bit and show you what was going on with that. Here's some a look at the garage, the big garage that I drew. Originally I thought I'd try to do this all in one piece, but it would be about an 11-hour print, and I didn't want something to go wrong and have to start over. So I ended up doing one wall at a time, and that made it easier to put the thing together. So just did one wall at a time and put them together as 4 pieces. Also, look at one of the silos here. Basically, it's kind of a big tube here. As you look closer here, you can see I actually made some little hex nuts around the side, but by the time the print came out, you could barely see them. They're just little tiny dimples on the side of the silo. Now these the rib defect was made by actually one of these things called a torus. It's kind of like a hula hoop, and I can draw this shape. I can either make it very, very thick looking like a donut, or make it real thin like a hula hoop. And so that's what I drew around the silo, and there's about 60 of those on there to give it that kind of top to bottom ribbed look on around it. So that's roughly what the what one of the silos looks like here. This little building here is one of the few buildings that is not 3D printed. This is just scratch built. Fiddling around with it. Don't know if I'll keep this in here, but I actually thought this might not be a bad little roof detail. It's just a nail, but I thought, that might not be such a bad little roof detail by itself. Not so tall there, but anyway. Just some simple little stuff, some more little tubes and things, and little boxes and rods, and just a little scrap together stuff. And some other little things I was able to do with my 3D printer was to make some ladders. I don't know if you can see these. Just ladders. So I make them a long ladder and cut it to the size I need. You can see here on my little, cut some of the rungs out and then just kind of bent the top over the roof edge there to make them little hoops on the end of the ladder. Another little trick I used when I was making these little tubes and things, some places I often need to bend a tube, and in order to do that I would take my soldering iron and just real close hold it to the styrene tube here, and close but don't touch. Eventually it bends real easy right where you want it. And you got a nice bend in your tube. It's a nice way to bend little plastic tubes. And if you go too far, you can kind of keep it heated, and it'll just real carefully. You don't want to touch it, but you warm it up enough just to kind of bend it, and that works pretty well. That's a 0.20 tube. Here's one a little thicker, a little heavier, and the same thing. Just get the soldering iron real close, but don't touch it, and put a little flex on it, and it'll finally bend for you right there. Hold it for a minute to keep it shape, and you got a bent tube. Works pretty nice. Okay, these are nice little models. I'll put a link in the description box where you can order those. Some of the parts are a little delicate. These little antennae here, a couple of them broke, and what I did to replace it was I actually took another little piece of wire. This one is a fix on there, and I used a little bit of canopy glue and just glued a little piece of wire to the side of the mirror, and it passes pretty well for replacement there. I mean, you can see it for the little antenna. So, but these are nice little models. They're about $6 a piece. Order $30, I think, and more, and the shipping is free. So I ordered 6 of them, and they came with an extra truck. One of them that didn't quite make it all the way through the molds here. This one, the back end. Some of the parts are not quite printed all the way through, and I got these that I didn't even order, but they kind of came as extras. And I've ordered more from this site, and I was given a 15% discount after my first order. So I've got more vehicles coming. They're kind of more of the sort of earth mover vehicles, and a few more trucks and things to try to populate this scene here. So that's where we're at for now. So I'm going to try to get back into producing more videos a bit more regularly. I've been off the air for quite a while, so this is my first attempt to get back into the swing of things, and will give you more updates as they occur. In the meantime, though, stay safe, be kind, Happy New Year, and thanks for stopping by. We'll talk to you later in the next video.